Welcome to Trader Tales, episode 2, the Rabbi. So the Rabbi is a guy I worked with in the early 2000s. He was a very smart guy, super smart. Spent like 35 years at the yeshiva studying halacha, Jewish law. He was a really good trader, probably the best trader on the prop desk. He, as such, made a lot of money, but he didn't spend a lot of money. He wasn't flamboyant or anything. He lived in a modest condo, drove a regular car. I mean, didn't spend any money on clothes, right? He had a tallit, he had a white shirt, he had a black suit and a few yarmulkes and a black fedora, whatever those hats were he wore. But he did have he did spend money on a couple of things. One, he had a bag of diamonds that he kept in his safe, a few $1 million worth, and that was his go bag. He used to tell me, in case I have to get the hell out of this country when they come to kill the Jews. He was always paranoid about, that they were going to come and kill the Jews. In fact, on 9/11, he calls me up. He goes, "I got to get the hell out of this country. They're going to kill all the Jews." I go, they're not going to kill all the Jews. But he was paranoid. He had his quirks, but he was a brilliant guy. In fact, he was technically a rabbi, considering had reached such a level of study in halacha at the yeshivas, but he didn't have his own shul. He was more of, he lived that lifestyle. But so the other thing that he spent money on, there's only one vice, was he liked upscale hookers. I mean, like top shelf, high value pros. I mean, we're talking back in the day, $1,500, which is in today's dollars, 3,500-ish, something like that. So I have a lot of hooker stories about the rabbi, but this is a funny one, so we'll go. So one Thursday after work, myself, the rabbi, and one of his buddies who ran a group over at Soros and his team met up for drinks. I think we started at Dow, and then we went somewhere else. And then as night went on, we ended up at the Monkey Bar, like Midtown 50s between like Madison and Fifth. And so the rabbi's going around, he's trying to pick up chicks. He's not doing too well. And the more he drinks, the worse he's doing. He's striking out all over the place. Swing and a miss, whiff, whiff, whiff. So he's getting frustrated. So he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, I'm out of here. I can't take this anymore. I'm out of here." So he disappears off into the street. He calls the car service. His sister and his former partner ran a hedge fund, so he used their car service all the time. He knew the driver. The driver picked him up and he disappeared off into the night. So I don't think anything of it. I go about my night. I know. I go home and blah, blah, blah. So I go to work the next morning. It's busy in the morning, so we're not spending much time chit-chatting. And then, then it comes to me lunchtime. His kosher meal arrives. He's eating it. I'm eating pizza and hot wings or what the hell everybody order on Fridays on the desk. And then he looks at me and goes, "Hey, I didn't go home last night." I go, "Oh, what'd you do?" I go, I saw you take off in the car." He goes, "No, I went over to Hell's Kitchen, and some hooker, she had a dungeon. She had a loft turned into a dungeon." He goes, "Obviously she's a dominatrix as well as a hooker." He goes, "The place had like leather walls, there were whips and chains everywhere, harnesses hanging from the ceiling." He goes, "So I ended up over there last night and I came here this morning." I go, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "She was hot. She was a pro." So he goes, "The only problem is," he goes, "I left my glasses in her place." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, "What, do you have to go over there on the way home and pick them up over in Hell's Kitchen?" He goes, "I'm not going up there." I go, "Well, what are you going to do?" He goes, "I just spoke to her. She's going to be downtown. I talked to her into coming by and dropping them off." I go, "Oh, really?" So I don't think anything of it. I figure she's going to show up. He's going to go out to reception, get his glasses, and game over, right? No, he's got another plan. So about an hour and a half later, the phone lights up, the reception light on the turret. And so I pick it up. I go, "Yeah." The receptionist goes, "The rabbi has a guest." I'm like, "Okay." So I tell him. He goes, "Send some intern or assistant or something, go get her." I go, "Really?" Something. I'm like, "Okay, this is going to be interesting." So this intern disappears, goes out to the reception, gets the girl. Now, at this firm, you go through the glass doors, you come to reception. On the left, there's a seating area where you lounge, you're waiting. And then to the right, you go through one little door and then a little hallway, take a right, and then there's a door opens up to this big trading room. There's about 4 or 5 trading desks there, a big office with a team, and it's elevated on the perimeter, and then it sinks down 3 or 4 steps into a pit. So there's 2 trading desks on the close end of in the pit. There's one down the other end, and there's a few trading desks around. So it's about 100-foot walk from the doors to the back windows. And of course, the rabbi sat all the way at the back, in the middle of the desk, near the windows. So the room is filled with about 100 people. Probably 90% of them are men. There's a few women and some back office people and assistants. So this chick's got to walk all the way down the whole length of the trading room and take a right and go to the middle, the furthest point to get to the rabbi's desk. So she comes in with this assistant. She's like wearing a tight skirt, high heels. She's a pro. I mean, you can tell she's a pro, So as she comes in, the noise level drops to almost nothing. And you just see these heads turning as she's going down the walkway all the way down, take a right, and then gets to the rabbi's seat where he had, he gave her a seat. She sat down. He showed her the trading screens and, blah, blah, blah. They had chit chatted for a little while. She gave him the glasses. About 10 minutes later, they both get up and he walks her out. So he walks her out, brings her to the reception, out to the elevators, puts her on the elevator. She's gone. So he comes back in, and as soon as he gets back in the trading room, the whole place stands up and starts cheering. He fucking did it on purpose. He wanted to parade that chick through the whole trading room, have everyone see that he's talking to her, and then walk her back out. It's just some alpha shit, right? So that was one of the funny stories with the rabbi and the hookah story. I mean, literally, I got dozens of hookah stories with the rabbi, but that's a funny one where he paraded her through the trading room, middle of a Friday. All right, that's Trader Tales episode 2, the rabbi. The next time, we'll move on to another funny episode. Bye.